your courage is the currency of expansion, and your self love is what is going to fuel that courage. Like for me, that perfectionist desire, I mean, I was never even close to being perfect. So it's almost annoying that I even had perfectionist tendencies, but I did. I really felt like you earn love by how good you are. And if you're not good or you mess up, you lose it. Like such a killer. And so what I found was, what really takes to dismantle that is courage. And what this is almost like chicken and egg. It's like it takes courage to let go of that definition of what is worthy and what is good. And what is going to help you power through that is more love and just being willing to look at all the parts and to be like, I mean, we all are going forward, I guess. Like, you get to come too, and you get to come too, and you get to come too. Talking to like all the parts of me that I was trying to hide. So, what does it look like to really let this in as something that changes our paradigm of worthiness? And the like kind of next step up is that changes our paradigm of success and what we're allowed to have. Because here is the other sneaky part. I had all these rules about what makes you good, what makes you worthy, what makes me a good coach and a good friend and a good partner and a good daughter. And oof, it was a long list of shit to do. It was very fragile. It was easily broken. But if I could just like hold my breath and do it all and check the list off and like make sure everyone was happy and tend to all the things, maybe I could make it happen. But there was this sneaky other rule that success was only going to be available if I did everything right. And I don't know where I got that because we don't even really talk about success in our society that much. We don't really talk about what it looks like for women to hit their stride, to own their power, to become more and more wise and beautiful and sexy and like incredible as they get older. We have to go make all that stuff up ourselves because the narratives we're given are just like ridiculous that like CEOs and bosses are like old men and they're kind of boring and weird, and you have to work really hard to have any kind of success, and like money should be hard and everything should be hard. So, like, this is what we inherit. We get these images of women and what it could look like to be in your power as any version of the non that, like whether you identify as a woman or non-binary or anything other than that like kind of stuffy old man archetype. We're just sort of like left to figure it out, right? It's like you got a lot of conflicting rules. You don't see a ton of examples. It's so I'm not sure like where along the line I decided this, but somehow between maybe like a lean in feminism and like trying to make my own way and doing all of this work and that internalized you've got to be perfect to be worthy of love story, I decided that you're allowed to succeed, but it has to be really hard. And you, in order to still be the good girl, the perfect, like perfect all the things, you need to prove that you've worked so hard for this success. And then maybe you can have some. Like, yeah, maybe at that point, you're like allowed to make, I don't know, 6 figures in your business or whatever that like first big goal was. Really weird and really understandable all at the same time. So I wonder if you can just take a minute and think about what rules like that you might have internalized or inherited, even if you're like not really sure where they came from. Like, no one ever sat me down and said, you better be perfect all the time or I'm not going to love you anymore. And also, by the way, if you ever want to succeed in your life, you have to be really exhausted and be working hard all the time. And yet, I like somehow found those rules and internalized it and decided. So take a minute and see, maybe those two resonate for you, maybe there are others, but like what rules are coming to mind for you that feel like they put almost like a cap on your expansion, your success, your thriving, even like your epic love story, your self-love story, your money, your bank account, like what ceiling is there and where did that come from? Think a little bit about what comes to mind. And obviously, if it doesn't come right away, that's also fine. It's sort of supposed to be background programming in you anyway. So it's a little bit revolutionary for you to even be naming it. But that does help us unmask it even more.